Good day, students. So, ang topic natin today is all about solving quadratic equations by extracting square roots. Ito ay Quarter 1, Week 2, Module 2 ng Grade 9 Mathematics. First, we will define what is a square root. So, a square root is a factor of a number that when multiplied by itself gives the original number. For example, we have here square root of 9. So, this symbol, ito ay tinatawag na radical sign. Okay? Tapos yung number na 9 that is inside the radical sign, itong 9, tinatawag ito na radicand. Okay? Now, to find the square root of 9 sa definition natin, if a-factor daw natin yung 9, tapos pag multiply natin by itself, it gives the original number. So, let's factor 9, or let's find a factor of 9 that multiplied by itself gives the answer 9. So anong number na multiply natin sa kanyang sarili na it will result to 9. So we have 3 times 3. Okay. So since 3 times 3 is 9, we can also write this into 3 squared. Alright? So the answer for this is 3. Okay. Since 3 is the number that multiplied by itself, it will give us the radicand 9. In square root, there are two solutions here because we can express square root of 9 into negative 3 raised to the power 2. So the answer is negative 3. So therefore, yung 9 natin, yung 9, or yung square root of 9, the answer is positive or negative 3. However, in some instances, yung pag ang instruction is you're going to find the principal square root. Okay? So, pag principal square root ang hinahanap natin, so, yung answer nito will be the positive. So, kung ano yung positive. For example, so I will ask you what is the principal square root of 9. So, yung magiging answer nyo will be positive 3. If naman, sabihin ko lang what is the square root of 9, so there will be two answers. So, positive or negative 3. So, yung 9, since yung 9 natin can be rewrite into 3 squared, no? Malawrite natin into 3 squared. So, yung 9 is tinatawag na, yung 9 is tinatawag na perfect square. It has perfect square. Ibig sabihin, may factor siya na multiply by itself. The answer is 9. Some of the perfect square numbers, palitan na natin ng red. Some of the perfect square numbers are, example nito ay 1 because yung 1 can be 1 times 1. Also, ang 4 is a perfect square since we have 2 times 2. Then, we have 9. We have also 16 because 16 can be rewrite into 4 times 4. Pag kukunin natin yung square root ng perfect square, madali lang since we can find number na multiply by itself. The answer is the radicand, okay, or the numbers, or the given number. Okay, so I hope you understand about the square root. So let's continue. So let's have an activity right away. So we're going to extract the square root. So as what I've said, while ago, pag kukunin natin yung square root, so there would be two possible answers here. Pag principal square root naman yung tinatanong ko, so there will be only one answer that is positive. So let's answer square root of 36. Okay, can you think of a number that multiply by itself? The answer is 36. Alright, so we have 6 times 6 is 36. We have also negative 6 times negative 6 is also 36. So, ibig sabihin, yung square root ng 36 is positive or negative 6. Okay, let's have number 2. Negative square root of 64. Okay, what is the factor that multiply by itself? The answer is 64. So we have 8 times 8 is 64. We have also negative 8 times negative 8 is 64. So ibig sabihin, yung factor, yung square root ng negative square root of 64 is positive or negative 8. So, saan na yung negative? So, kahit pa merong negative dito, since dalawa naman yung magiging square root niya, so the answer is positive or negative 8. Pag principal square root naman yung tinanong ko, so mag-iiba yung answer dito. Kasi pag kukunin natin yung negative square root of 64, tapos principal square root yung question, so magiging negative times square root of 64. So, magiging 8 squared to, no? So, the answer is negative 8. So, isa lang yung answer pag principal, no? Principal square root. Square root yung tanong. Alright. So, let's proceed. Number 3, square root of 49 over 25. So, madali lang to. Okay? We can answer this right away. So, positive or negative. What is the factor multiplied by itself? The answer is 49. So, we have 7. Since the radicand is a fraction din yung maging answer natin. So, square root of 25 is 5. So, our final answer is positive or negative 7 over 5. Now, number 4. What is the square root of 12? So, there is no number or factor na multiply by itself. The answer is 12. So, it's very difficult for us. Actually, meron naman siyang square root, pero hindi siya, since ang 12 is not a perfect square. So, we will use the simplifying square root. So, how are we going to simplify square root? Pag ganito yung mga example, hindi perfect square yung radicand. Okay. Step number 1, find the largest perfect square factor of the radicand. So, ibig sabihin, kukunin natin yung factor ng 12. So, for example, ang 12, ang factor niya is 6 times 2. Okay? So, meron bang perfect square sa factors ng 12? 6 times 2? So, wala, right? So, since yung 6 hindi perfect square, yung 2 hindi rin. How about 4 times 3? Is 4 a perfect square? So, yes. So, dito na tayo. So, example number 1. So, yung perfect square na factor nito is ito. Ito yung gagamitin natin. Okay. Let's have number 2. Rewrite the radicand as a product using the perfect square factor. So, yung radicand natin sa example is square root of 12, di ba? So, i-rewrite natin into 4 times 3. Okay? Then use the product rule to rewrite the radical as the product of two radicals. Okay. So, gagamit na tayo ng product rule. So, let's answer the example number 4. So, it's square root of 12. So, as what I write earlier, na yung square root of 12 can be rewrite as 4 times 3. Tapos, gagamit tayo ng product rule. So, it becomes square root of 4 times square root of 3. Okay? So, yung square root ng 4 is positive 2 square root of 3. So, ito yung final answer natin. Okay? So yung final answer natin is positive or negative 2 square root of 3. So, pag hindi siya perfect square, so meron talagang square root yan or radical sign na matitira. Like this. Since yung square root of 3, wala siyang square root, no? Since yung perfect, yung isang factor naman yan na 4, mayroong perfect square. So, um, i-simplify natin ito. So, yung square root of 4, ito. So, naging 2 na siya. Tapos, lagyan natin ng positive or negative. Okay. Solving quadratic equations by extracting square roots. Quadratic equation that can be written in the form x squared equals r. So, in our previous topic about illustration of quadratic equation, yung quadratic equation is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Ito yung standard form, right? Now, kailan tayo gagamit ng extracting square root? So, gagamit lang tayo ng extracting square root pag yung form niya is x squared equals r. So, ibig sabihin, yung left side natin, x squared lang yung matitira. Tapos, we have a number here sa left side na r. So, it can be a binomial, it can be any number. So, yung r is a real numbers. Ibig sabihin number yan, real numbers. Okay, so let's proceed to our example number 1. Okay, let's proceed. Property number 1. If r is less than 0, then x squared equals if r is greater than 0, then x squared equals r has two real solution or roots. X is equal to positive or negative r. Pag yung r natin, yung real numbers is greater than 0, meaning to say, mga positive numbers or counting numbers, no? Positive 1, positive 2, o basta any number less greater than 0, then we have two real solution. So, that's why kanina, no, meron tayong sign na positive or negative. It implies na meron tayong two solution. So, kukunin lang natin na yung square root of 1. So, saan na yung x squared? No? Nakita natin, wala na siyang squared here. Okay? Because, pag i-extract natin yung square root ng x squared equals r, extract natin yung square root, extract natin yung square root niya. So, ma-eliminate na yung square ng x since we're going to find the square root ng x squared. So, x is equal to positive or negative square root of r. So, that is why wala na siyang squared at makukuha na natin yung value ng x. Okay, let's have an example. Example, find the solution of the equation x squared minus 36 equals 0. Okay, solution tayo nito. Okay, so we have here x squared minus 36 equals 0. So, kailangan yung left side natin, x squared lang. So, gagawin natin, eliminate natin yung 36. So, mag-add tayo both sides by equation by 36. Dito din 36 para eliminate na to. So, magiging x squared equals 36. Then, kukunin natin yung square root ng both sides. Square root ng both sides. So, magiging x is equal to positive or negative 6. So, therefore, ito yung symbol ng therefore. So, the solutions set are negative 6 and positive 6. Now, we'll have a checking kung tama ba yung answer natin na negative 6 tsaka yung positive 6. So, gagawin lang natin, no? Sa original equation na x squared minus 36 equals 0. Substitute natin yung value ng negative 6 at 6. So, if x is equal to negative 6. So, substitute natin dito. So, magiging negative 6 squared minus 36. Is it equal to 0? So, negative 6 squared is 36 minus 36 equals 0. Then, 36 minus 0 is equal to 0. Ibig sabihin, yung negative 6 na answer natin is tama. Tama to. So, what if naman pag positive 6? So, if x is equal to 6, so substitute natin. So, magiging 6 squared minus 36 equals 0. So, 36, so lagyan natin ng question mark pala, minus 36, is it equal to 0? So, 36 minus 36 is 0, is equal to 0. Ibig sabihin, tama yung answer natin. So, our final answer for this example is x equals positive or negative 6, or the solution set is negative 6 and positive 6. Okay, let's continue. So, we have here property number 2. If r is equal to 0, then x squared equals r has one real solution or root. So, isa lang yung solution natin, which is x equal to 0. Pag yung r natin, yung r is 0 siya. So, let's have an example. So, this property is very easy, class. Since if you have x squared equals 0, then it fall into property number 2. So, pag kukunin natin yung square root ng x squared tapos square root ng 0, so magiging x is equal to 0. Wala nang positive or negative since ang 0 is neutral eh. Neutral yung 0. Ibig sabihin walang sign pag 0 siya. So, let's have a checking if the square root of x squared equals 0 is, or the answer is 0 ba talaga. So, therefore, the solution set is 0. So, sa x squared minus 0 equals 0, substitute na natin yung value ng x, which is 0. So, magiging 0 squared minus 0 equals 0. So, is it equal to 0? So, 0 minus 0 equals 0. So, is it equal to 0? So, 0 is equal to 0. Okay, tama yung property number 2. So, if you have like this, no, x squared equals 0, 0 yung right side, then the answer right away is 0. Let's have property number 3. Property number 3, if r is less than 0, then x squared equals r has no real solutions or roots. Now, pag yung radical naman, yung r, no, is less than 0, ibig sabihin mga negative numbers. No? Negative numbers. Basta may sign na negative. So, meaning to say, it has no real solution. So, yung answer mo is not a number. So, lagyan mo lang na no real solution. For example, find the solution of the equation x squared plus 9 equals 0. So, x squared plus 9 equals 0. So, transform muna natin into x squared equals r. So, subtract natin both sides by 9. So, cancel na to. X squared equals negative 9. Since yung negative 9 natin, less than 0 siya. And you cannot find any number multiply by itself equals to negative 9. So, pag negative 3, sir, pag negative 3 times negative 3, it will give us positive 9, right? So, hindi negative 9. So, ibig sabihin, pag kukunin natin yung square root ng negative number, square root nito, makukuha natin yung square root ng x squared, right? Which is x. However, we cannot find the square root of negative 9. So, yung answer mo is no real solution. Okay? No real solution. Okay? So, let's continue. So, we don't have a checking here. No? Since wala naman tayong real number na answer. No real solution yung nakalagay, di ba? So, wala tayong checking. So, dyan na lang. Yun na yung final answer natin. Okay? So, sorry na, erase ko. Okay. Now, let's continue. So, find the solution of the equation. So, gagamitin na natin yung mga concepts na naituro ko sa inyo. So, we will use the square root, simplifying square roots, and all the properties na naturo ko. So, we're going to find the solution of the equation. So, sa unang tingin pa lang, medyo complicated na siya, di ba? Pero, step by step, we can find the solution of this equation. So, quantity x minus 3 squared minus 81. Okay. So, gagawin natin dito. Papalitan ko na muna ito ng color. Sana yan? Oops. Okay, let's have white. Okay. So, solution nito. So, we have here x minus 3 squared minus 81 equals 0. So, yung minus 81, transfer muna natin to the right. So, let's add 81 to both sides of the equation. Plus 81 plus 81. So, para makancel ito. So, magiging x minus 3 squared equals 81. Now, yung left side is a binomial. Diba? As we explained earlier, na dapat yung x squared equals r, yung form. However, binomial too. Now, we can think of this x minus 3, gagawin natin siyang x. So, isipin natin na x lang siya. Okay. So, actually, hindi mo gagawing x talaga to. So, isipin mo na lang na x siya. So, yung gagawin mo dito, kukunin mo yung square root ng both sides. Okay? Because ito, x minus 3 squared is counted as 1. Counted as 1 lang siya. So, magiging square root of x minus 3 squared equals a square root of 81. So, magiging, so, pag kukunin natin yung square root, ma-eliminate na eliminate na yung square, eliminate na din yung radical sign. So, magiging x minus 3 equals, now, yung square root ng 81 is positive or negative 9. Then, kailangan kukunin natin yung value ng x. So, magiging, so, plus muna tayo sa both sides by 3. Plus din tayo dito here ng 3. So, eliminate na to. So, magiging x equals 3 plus or minus 9. So, yung positive or negative 9 natin, magiging plus or minus na siya. Bakit? Kasi meron tayong number here before this symbol. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong x sub 1, tapos meron tayong x sub 2. So, ano yung x sub 1? Gagamitin natin yung plus. So, that is 3 plus 9 is equal to 12. So, ibig sabihin, yung x sub 1 natin is 12. How about x sub 2? So, 3 minus 9 is negative 6. So, that is our x sub 2. So, therefore, our solution set is negative 6 and positive 12. Now, let's have a checking. So, kung yung negative 6 and positive 12 is the solution of this equation. So as we solve, no? So, negative 6 and positive 12 yung solution nito. So, let's have a checking. So, if x is equal to negative 6, so, gagawin natin yung x, substitute natin ng negative 6. So, magiging negative 6 minus 3 squared minus 81. Is it equal to 0? So, negative 6 minus 3, same symbols lang sila. Add natin, no? So, magiging negative 9 squared minus 81. Is it equal to 0? So, magiging 81 minus 81. Negative 9 squared, 81. So, is it equal to 0? 81 minus 81 is 0 is equal to 0. So, ibig sabihin, yung 6 natin na x sub 1 is correct. How about if x is 12? So, tama ba yung x equals 12? So, substitute natin sa formula. Maging 12 minus 3 squared minus 81 is it equal to 0. So, 12 minus 3 will give us 9. 9 squared minus 81 is it equal to 0. So, 81 minus 81 is it equal to 0. So, 0 is equal to 0. So, ibig sabihin, our final answer is, for this solution, is negative 6 and positive 12. Okay? So, reviewin nyo lang yung solution. Okay? So, your goal is to apply key concepts of solving quadratic equation. So, kailangan yung definition ng square root, yung mga properties, how to simplify square root, dapat alam niyo na yun. Para makasolve kayo ng quadratic equation. Solving quadratic equation yung ginawa natin last example. Di ba? So, gumamit tayo ng mga key concepts ng square root. Okay. By extracting square roots, use them to answer the next activity. So, if you have already know about them, then you will be ready for the next activities na nasa modules niyo. Okay, let's have an example. Find the solution of this equation. X squared minus 100 equals 0. Okay, let's have the solution for this one. Okay, sorry. Balik natin. Okay, solution. Okay, so as what I've said earlier, na extracting square root, kailangan yung x squared equals r. Dapat ganito yung format, di ba? So, dapat yung number nasa right side. So, in this case, x squared minus 100 equals 0. X squared minus 100 equals 0. Kailangan yung minus 100, move natin to the right side. So, gagawin na natin, eliminate natin yung 100 sa left side. So, since minus to, so add tayo ng 100. Dito, add din tayo ng 100. So, cancel out na yan. So, maging x squared equals 100. So, what is the square root of square root, kunin natin yung square root ng 100. So, as what you see, no, wala na yung symbol na 2 here. Since kinuha na natin directly yung square root ng x squared, which is x. So, magiging x is equal to positive or negative. So, what is the number or factor 100 multiply itself? The answer is 100. So, the answer is 10. So, therefore, our solution set is negative 10 and positive 10. Now, you can have the checking for this. So, check natin. If x is equal to negative 10, so magiging negative 10 squared minus 100, is it equal to 0? So, magiging 100 minus 100, is it equal to 0? So, 0 is equal to 0. So, tama siya, negative 10. So, if naman, yung x natin is positive 10, so magiging 10 squared minus 100 equals 0. So, magiging 100 minus 100, is it equal to 0? So, 0 is equal to 0. So, ibig sabihin, tama yung answer natin na negative 10 tsaka positive 10. Okay, let's have another example. Find the solution of the equation 2x squared equals 50. Okay, solution. So, as what you see, no, yung term natin here, merong 2 and x squared. So, kailangan eliminate muna natin yung 2 here. So, gagawin natin to eliminate the numerical coefficient of x squared. Okay. Do you have an idea? Okay. So, we're going to divide both sides by 2 para ma-eliminate siya. Okay. So, magiging x squared is equal to 50 divided by 2 is 25. Now, we can then take the value of 25, square root of 25. So, So x is equal to positive or negative 5. So therefore, our solution set is negative 5 and positive 5. And you can do the checking. So so f x is negative 5. So substitute mo lang dito. So 2 times negative 5 squared is it equal to 50. So wag mo munang i-multiply yung 2 tsaka negative 5 kasi naka-raise siya. Yung negative 5 naka-raise into 2. So i-raise muna natin ito ng 2. So negative 5 squared is 25. This is equal to 50. So 2 times 25 is 50 is equal to 50. Ibig sabihin, tama yung answer natin na negative 5. If naman yung x natin is positive 5. So we have here 2 times 5 squared is equal to 50. And 2 times 25, since 5 squared is 25, is it equal to 50? So 2 times 25 is 50 is equal to 50. So ibig sabihin tama yung answer natin. Okay. Next. So meron tayong fraction. Okay. So madali lang to kasi yung term natin sa left side, x squared na siya, no? So we have here x squared equals 1 over 36. So fraction siya. So take na natin yung square root. So x is equal to square root of 1 over 36. Now we can rewrite this as square root of 1 over square root of 36. What is the square root of 1? So we have positive or negative 1 over square root of 36 is 6. Since fraction yung r natin, so possible din, no? Na fraction din yung final answer. So our final answer is positive or negative 1 over, I delete this one. So negative 1 over 6 and 1 over 6. You can do the checking for this one. I'm sorry. Checking natin. Check natin. So if x is negative 1 over 6. So magiging negative 1 over 6 squared is it equal to 1 over 36. So pag raise into 2, each of the numerator denominator raise natin ng 2. Negative 1 squared is 1. 6 squared is 36. So tama. So if naman x is 1 over 6. So, same lang din. No, 1 over 6 squared, is it equal to 1 over 36? So, 1 over 36 is equal to 1 over 36. Ibig sabihin, tama yung final answer natin. So, don't be confused, class. Dito, solution. Dito naman, yung checking. Actually, hindi naman talaga required yung isusulat yung checking sa papel. So kung tinatanong lang siya, no? So if you are doubtful sa answer nyo, you can check them. Pero kung sure na kayo sa answer nyo, no need to write the checking. Okay? Okay, next example. Find the solution of the equation x minus 2 squared minus 4. So same to ng previous example natin, right? So solution. So we have here x minus 2 squared minus 4 equals 0. So eliminate natin yung 4 or negative 4 na nasa right side. So add tayo ng 4, add in tayo ng 4. So since eliminated na yan, so magiging x minus 2 squared is equal to 4. So as what I've said earlier, na yung x minus 2 squared, you can count this as 1. No, 1 only. So we can take the square root of both sides. So magiging x minus 2. No, eliminate na yung radical sign saka yung square root, yung square. So positive or negative 2. So gagawin natin, dapat yung x na lang yung matira dito. So add tayo ng 2, add din tayo ng 2 dito. So cancel out na yan. So x is equal to 2 plus or minus 2. So ang mangyari, we have a x sub 1, which is 2. Gamitin natin yung plus. Plus 2 is equal to 4. Okay, 4. Tapos yung x sub 2 naman natin, gagamit tayo ng minus 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. So our final answer, solution set is 0, 4. Now let us check if tama ba yung answer natin 0, 4. So if x is equal to 0, so substitute natin 0 minus 2 squared minus 4 is it equal to 0. So 0 minus 2 magiging negative 2 na yan. So raised to 2. So this is 4 minus 4 is it equal to 0. So 0 is equal to 0. Okay, tama yung x na 0. So if x is equal to 4 naman, so substitute lang natin. So 4 minus 2 squared minus 4 is it equal to 0. So magiging 2 squared na yan, di ba? Since 2 squared, magiging delete na natin. Okay, magiging 4 minus 4 is it equal to 0. So 0 is equal to 0. Okay, so that's how you're going to solve using the extracting square root. Make sure na yung left side, ganito yung format, no? X squared minus x squared equals r. So, exception lang dito, no? Kasi binomial to, makikita nyo binomial. However, counted as 1 to eh. Para siyang x. Squared mo. Parang x lang yan na naka-squared. So, yung example natin, ito, is in this form pa rin. Okay? So, madali yun lang yung pag-extract ng square root. Okay. So, I hope you class understand the lesson about solving quadratic equation using extracting square root. So, sa sunod natin na topic, I will discuss about solving quadratic equation by factoring. Okay, I hope na meron na kayong prior knowledge about factoring. So it is easy for you to solve quadratic equation using factoring. Okay, thank you so much for listening. I hope you understand about this lesson, and please also subscribe and click the notification button para updated kayo sa mga next natin na mga tutorials. Thank you so much.